Which side again? I'm Jeff Stein with today's Iowa Politics Report. The campaign for a candidate for public office in Iowa sent a news release last week promoting that the candidate would deliver a major foreign policy speech where he will contrast his decades of foreign policy experience with the lack of leadership in Washington as it relates to the war in Ukraine, OPEC's aggression, and threats to democracy across the globe and right here in the United States. That's a direct quote from the news release. Pretty strong language, but we are only 3 weeks away from the election, so you do expect some of that. And it's pretty standard stuff for a Republican, taking issue with the current lack of leadership in Washington on issues such as Ukraine and OPEC. Except this was not a statement on behalf of a Republican. It was on behalf of Democrat U.S. Senate candidate Michael Franken. Now, in past interviews we have had here on KXEL, Franken promoted his foreign policy credentials, but suggested he would strongly support the Biden administration as a U.S. Senator. In fact, when I said he would be the junior senator from Iowa, which is true because he'd be the one with less seniority, he said he'd soon become the leading senator from our state, especially on those issues. Well, now comes a major foreign policy speech that would take on the lack of leadership in Washington, which is tied to his own party. Now, I'm not sure what to make of it other than it being an attempt to convince independents that a vote for Franken would not be a Democrat rubber stamp. All of that is contrary, though, to the statements he made to us during the primary season when he was currying favor with partisans, saying he would strongly support everything that Biden did. Also interesting that he has not accepted an invitation to return to KXEL since winning that partisan primary. Maybe it's because we recall what he said then and how it's not quite consistent with what's being said now. And that's the Iowa Politics Report for Tuesday, October 18 on Twitter, Instagram, Gitter, Parler, and Truth Social at Iowa Politics. I'm Jeff Stein on News Talk 1540 KXEL.